Then, so what do you want? Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So you can. I think my voice is okay. That's a good sign. So today I'm going to discuss about this topic. Think like a scientist and build like an entrepreneur. So because I use this title because I'm doing both. Like I do scientific research and doing some business. So kind of matching with this one. So for the moment, I will explain it after this slide. I'm actually a student, as say that PhD student in UCD, University College Dublin. So before I'm going to go to that slide, these are the things that we are going to talk about today. Like introduction is like what is my unconventional path, and the second thing is like think in a scientific mindset. And third is build the entrepreneurial execution. And the fourth is how to sustain your innovation cycle. So this is the content that we are going to discuss today, and it's kind of a cycle. And this is about the stage that because I added this kind of a disclaimer that because I'm not going to teach you about theories and things. It's all about things that I experienced, and there are no textbooks today, no kind of things that you got to note down. It's about field notes, not formulas. Everything I'm sharing is from my experience from 14 years now. And this context is everything and what worked with me. And I don't know whether everything is worked with you guys, but I can give you some kind of guidance towards that. So it's about your thing to try those things out, and I can't guarantee everything that it might be work towards you because it might depend on your businesses, it might depend on your things. So this is about me. I'm Akila Wickramasekara. So currently I'm doing my PhD in computer science, actual data forensics and AI in like University College Dublin, Thailand. So actually, I came for 2 months from there to have vacation, but still I didn't have vacation. I have continuous things coming up every day, every week, and I'm seeking for vacation. Hopefully next week. And I did my master's in UCSC, in master's in information security, and then before that I did BIT or Bachelor of Information Technology in UCSC. So I'm actually a multidisciplinary researcher, so I like to research in every kind of fields, not even in computer science, not in digital forensics. Like if I have chance, I like to join any kind of discipline. And for the moment, I am a director and the principal shareholder in at Pachacharan Private Limited. So this is my company. So I will go through with these things and hope you can get some ideas. So this is my path. I don't know whether you can see it clearly, but I will try to explain it. So I put it as unconventional path because I started things from 2009. Like I started my BIT or like bachelor's degree in 2009. I have a story before that, but I'm not going to start that story. Maybe after some years, I will tell that story too. So today I'm going to start from this story, from the start from the BIT. So after I start BIT, I worked in IGM Panadura. I don't know whether you know that IGM is kind of a computer institute. Like they teach me, and I was an instructor for that for 6 months. So what I did was, it's kind of funny thing. I did instructional things like as a lecturer is like 20%, but all the other 80% is like other works in there. I clean computers. I develop more computers. I troubleshoot computers. Actually, I do the PN work. I got all the EPFETS things to the main thing. So I did everything in there. So actually, it's kind of a multitasking thing, but I got 5,000 rupees per month for that everything. So that was my kind of first job in the IT industry. But the thing is, like, I learned so many things from there, from my staff. Okay. So then I moved to web development. It's kind of a basic thing in that time. Like I joined as a trainee developer in 2011 to an Australian-based company that they did some projects in web development. and I was a Spain developer in there. But the funny part is like I worked 3 months without salary. Like the thing is like they promised me to give 15,000 a month, but I only get 10,000 for 3 months. And then when we go back to that company on a Monday, that company was gone. This kind of total true story. So this kind of a scam kind of a company that we were working in there. And then we go back in the Monday after the weekend, and there's no computers, no desk, and it's one of the building. So the funny thing is like there are about 20 plus people who are working in there, and the company is like vanished like this. So it's kind of a funny thing, and we try to sue the company, but it's not going to be working because it's kind of Australian based, and there's nobody to catch them. So that's kind of a thing. I learned that kind of job is there. And then from that company, some people got another company established, some managers in that company. And I was working with those people for just another 6 months. Okay. So then after that, I had to go, I had to move to another company called Elite Web Studio as a software engineer. It's kind of a true kind of a movement for me because at that time I was to complete my degree, but they allowed me to work as a software engineer in there because there was a kind of a uh, projects in there and like they just need to work as an engineer. So and then in 2013 I got a kind of a golden opportunity to work in WaveNet International Private Limited. I don't know whether you heard about this company. WaveNet is kind of a telecommunication company. And this is where I started everything. Because I said that I was working in the solution team. Solution team means kind of a special task force, kind of a arm. Okay? So, you know how I got into this. I will tell you this story also. I got an interview and then I have the test. So, if you are in IT field, there's a test that anyone is recruiting, there's a test going on. So, in that test, the test is to build a kind of a library system. But the funny thing is, like, there's the computer that only has Linux terminal and no screen. Like, there's a screen, I mean, no Windows environment, it's only Linux and no internet. And I have to develop a MySQL database and then the PHP or whatever code and then build the entire thing from the scratch. So I was trying to do that from 10 a.m. to 4 a.m. Okay, without even eating and drinking anything. But the thing is, like, I couldn't complete that system, but I was recruited for that company. You know why? So I'm the only person that tried that hard. So everybody leaves before that. So the thing is, like, I was trying to test the stamina of them. Like I was trying to do that for several hours, maybe 4 or 5 hours. So the Wavenet solution, Wavenet company, I was working the solution as I said that is kind of a team that we have to do everything. Do troubleshooting, create multiple software, maybe write documentation. And if there's any kind of jargon or if there's any kind of jargon software, like if there's kind of a nobody's baby, so that so project will come to us like solutions team. From that one, I got to learn so many things. So that's kind of a golden opportunity. So at the same time, I finished my BIT, bachelor's degree. It took me a while. Like normally it should be like 3 years, but with the work and everything, it took me 4 years. And then I joined again to a Senate group of company. I think you might know about Senate. So I was working in there as a senior software engineer for 1 year. And I also worked for the solution team in there. And then I decided to shift my career to a kind of a director role. Okay, so this kind of another nice thing that you should ask, you should listen. In 2017, one of my friend in there in Senate suggested me that we are going. Let's have a company. Let's have a startup. Okay. So then I said, yeah, that's a good idea. I like to be a director. I like to be a co-founder. So I said, yes, that's a good thing. because he said that I don't need to invest anything. He will invest everything. You just learn. You just give your things. You just give your knowledge. You just give the expertise. That's a good deal to me. So I said, okay, I will resign from the company and join with the new startup. Okay. So actually, we created the startup. And my friend and me are the only person, and he got the what is the CEO and founder, co-founder, whatever, and the director. Okay, so I was a director and I was a co-founder in there also, and I have a kind of nice business card. And then I had an email, and we had a kind of website. That's all. And then we were surviving, like we were trying to do something. I go through with that one also. And 2019, no, sorry, yeah, 2019, we experienced that we are going to be died in this company because we couldn't survive with that. So it was bankrupt actually. It was like everything is depend on me. And once that, because I will say that story again, like we had only one client. So if that when that client is gone, so all the companies collapse. So at that position, I was jobless for 2 weeks, I think. Yeah. So I wasn't. I was like crazy because I had financial commitments. So I was jobless for 2 3 weeks, and then luckily I got another opportunity with Omobio Private Limited. So Omobio is kind of a very good company that I get so much of knowledge in telecommunication side. It's Iranga's company, the liquidity finance manager. So that company is a kind of a good place that I got so much of knowledge. Then I was working as senior software engineer for 3.5 years, and then moved again to Wilbur Private Limited. Until that, like I from the overview, like I got a lot of money and a lot of experience. And then I decided to join academy in 2023. After everything, after 12 years of industry experience, I shifted my career. Why is the kind of a thing? Because I will tell the things. There's a kind of reasons to shift my things. I will say this funny story. In my PhD interview, my supervisor asked, "Are you sure you are going to move to academia?" Because at the time when I'm moving, I was getting a good amount of salary, like it's a nice amount, decent amount. And he said that we can't provide this salary to you. Still, are you sure you are going to move your career? So I said yes, and I moved to academic role, and I know that salaries are not good in there, but still, you can do beyond. You can go beyond with this shift. I'll go with this one. Okay. So this is about the realization and building perfect product that nobody wants. So this kind of things that I'm going to explain about. You create products, and but do you know that is it like useful? So as I say that I learned so many things in solutions team, and like then I moved to Rebellion Private Limited as a startup, and then I again in that company when I was in there, like I registered a sole proprietor company for business. So that means like you are the only person in there. You are the only CEO. Like there's no one in there. You have everything. Like that's the thing. And then I'm going to explain about these products because this will be like very useful for you. I think most of people are IT in here. So in Rebellion, I created actually, yeah, not we, I created because there are two people. So I was the kind of a developer and engineer, everything. We created these apps. Kodiba is kind of an app that anyone can find. So like handymans. Okay, so it's the idea of an app, and I created that, and then I created the any unit cannot is kind of iPhone app, and then a Beetle app idea is like another idea markup, and that app what it does is kind of another thing. From that app, you can get information from other people. This is kind of a tricky thing. So, for an example, if you get an unknown phone number, you can get the person's name and the address of whatever thing. So, this is kind of very dangerous app that we created from with that dangerousness. Dialog actually bans that because everything is done inside the dialog. So, but we actually explained that we are using there's a kind of API, I can't remember that. And then we created this bulk SMS. So this is the kind of a very good application that we created to sustain our business, but it's kind of a hacking thing. Okay, it's hacking means like we created bulk SMS scanner. I don't know whether you know about this. We had a hardware device with so many modems inside there, and we can plug SIM cards in there, and then we can push SMSs to each and every model. Okay, so I developed everything in there. We actually got these hardware things from China, and we actually upgrade them. Okay, so at that time, uh, there's a kind of security thing that you can't push SMSs like continuously. Even if you send SMSs like 100 times, they will block your contacts like for some time. Okay, so they will like disconnect the connection. This kind of security thing is like to prevent like bulk SMSs from mobile phone. But the thing is, like from my knowledge, I actually hacked that and I changed the hardware device, and we figured out a kind of a loophole that we can push bulk SMS to the network, but it's kind of illegal. So we didn't know that. Yeah. And we could provide like 500 SMS like for 200 rupees, like very cheap solution. So we got some customers, but still we couldn't survive it because the thing is like we couldn't send a what is it, delivery report or whatever like they need, and that's kind of another failed solution. And then another thing, like the main income was like skill outsourcing from that company. So who is the skilled person? It's only me. So we had two people in our company. The other person is kind of a designer. He designed this. He can only design the posters and banners. That's all. And I'm the only skilled person that I have to survive. I have to get my salaries paid. So I have outsourced myself to another person. In the meantime, I have to look after this older application. It's kind of very tough thing. And but I remember that I also did marketing. I remember that from Vista, like we got another health car. Like we at the night, I got like 40 bars posters, and I go to streets and paint these posters in the night. So I did everything, as I said. It's kind of funny thing, but as that I said, there was a director. I was like co-founder whatever, but I had to plug the posters on. Okay, so the best thing is like even we try to survive this for 2 years, all failed because the thing is like this skilled outsource one, like only client we had was gone, and I couldn't have salary, so then everything is failed from there on. So then at the same time, I said that I was doing my master's program, and I did my first research paper before that master's program, and I found that in the middle of the Overview Private Limited, I found that people like we are developing solutions. No, in industry we are developing the solution for another one, and it's kind of a research one. Like solution, creating a solution, so another research staff. So I found the similarity. Like if you are a scientist or if you are a developer, you can have similarity to develop that research. So I published my first research paper in that area, like in 2019, middle of the 2019. And then I found that, wow, it's kind of another similar thing that we are doing every day, but we are not writing. So every developer, every engineer is kind of creating solution, but he's or she is not publishing it or not writing it. And then after onwards, I did my master's, and my supervisor is Dr. Asankar. For that research, I got kind of the best research award in Sri Lanka. So that is the first thing that I learned, that yeah, I have a great capability to develop and get like visible to another to others from that award onwards. So actually, this award helped me to gain my PhD also, because I think it's my PhD is like when I'm sending like application, that's the only application that I sent PhD, and it was awarded. So that's the kind of a journey that I want to say. And then what I these are the pitfalls and illusions what I got wrong. So this will be like very much informative for you. So the corporate comfort trap. this kind of thing that you might think that, oh, company is loving me and company needs me to sustain for them. So you will think that, oh, I did so many things with company and they are not going to be leave me, like they will provide me everything. So it keeps you in a comfort zone, and perks creates comfort, and comfort achieves the growth. So that's the kind of thing. So you might be thinking that, oh yeah, I'm okay, I'm getting good salary, and my managers are treating me very good, and you will get insurances, you will get so many benefits from a company. But is it okay? The thing is, like, still you are working for another one, still you are working from outside. That makes your that kills your growth. And the title and ego cut. This is what I say that I'm a co-founder, I'm a CEO, I'm a kind of a director, I'm a shareholder, whatever. Like this kind of a ego kills you, or like it's kind of fancy. It's fancy title. Unsustainable business is like not like even a single dollar. Like for an example, you can just create a company and become a CEO, become a director, but how much company is worth? It's like matter. Like so that is the kind of thing that you have to be in your mind. These titles are not a kind of thing, just just like words. And the builder's strategy. So I don't know whether you are all are in software industry, but in software industry, like people think that I can code or I can build anything, so I can sell anything. That's kind of very wrong thing. Because great code doesn't equals great business. Like if you create some kind of good software, good product, it doesn't mean that it's kind of a very good business. Okay, so these are kind of pitfalls that I need to say. And another thing is like feature first, like what? For an example, you will have a product that going to be failed. That is failing. Like, and you are thinking, okay, I will add more things or more value or more features to this product to make it like more sustainable or make it more good. But if the core solution is like shitty, like crap, it's not surviving. So that's kind of a point that I'm going to think. Like even if you add 10 extra features and the core business, so the core idea is like very bad, your product will be not surviving. Okay, and then if you build it, they will come. That's kind of another fancy. Like ignoring sales and marketing and customer feedback is kind of a very bad thing. And as you assume that, like you think that the technology is very good, like it's so much very good technology, and I use AI, or you are using kind of newest code or like whatever newest technology, but it doesn't count because even if you build the like very best program in Sri Lanka, or very best computation or whatever product in country or in world, if you don't sell it, if you don't shout out, like I have this and you can use it, your product will be failed. So you have to have marketing, and customer feedback will be another thing. And failure taught me how to think. So this is like about thinking. Before I say that creating real value, that research is kind of a thing that more similar to development thing. And every time I'm thinking like creating real value equals like to product success. Like if you create value into a product, that's the only success story in your product. So the value means like there will be anything. I don't know, like maybe in medicine. I don't know whether you have in medicine people in here and IT people in here. So if you do a product in a medicinal thing, and if it is like very valuable, so it might be okay. If it is software, if it is like very useful for some kind of a thing, it might be okay. So that's why we need value creation. And this is kind of a thing, product than just a product. What I would say this is like in your startups or in your businesses, if you think product is kind of a physical thing or like a software, that's kind of a very wrong thing. Product may be a kind of a business model. Okay, product may be a usability of a service, or maybe a person, because you don't know what are going to do with business. You always think that it should be a tangible thing. It should be a software. It should be a kind of a maybe a book or whatever. but it's kind of false. It might be anything, and you have to find your own product. So if you are good enough, like maybe you are your product. That might be another thing. And solution creation is a research skill, and that's why I say that when you are creating solutions in industry or in your academia, this kind of research skill, so you have to use that skill. If you have a research skill, that's very good to build a company and make it sustain. And thinking scientifically and beyond is another thing. Like you have to think every time in scientific way, because most of the companies fail without the scientific thing. Because if you are kind of a startup person, and you think that okay, I can develop this one, but you don't know what are the pitfalls and what are the drawbacks of that product, because you don't think it in scientific way. So scientific thinking and go beyond is kind of a key thing. So this is a kind of second section, that scientific mindset, and think like a scientist. The realization, the observe and question is a kind of a first approach. So I think everyone is like to develop something here, and but have you ever observed questions, or like have you ever tried to figure out the problems? So that is a kind of main thing. Search for problems, not think about, do not think about solutions. First, you have to obsess with problems, but not the solutions. So that's a kind of a key point, because problem first approach is the kind of a success thing every kind of product. Once you find the best problem, and then you can find the best solution for that. And the formulate hypothesis, like I don't know whether you know about hypothesis. Like in research, we are creating hypothesis. Like every idea is kind of assumption. We build things about assumptions. For example, we think, okay, we are going to have a revenue of this from this feature for like 100 times or 10 times, whatever. But it's kind of assumption. So that's why I said that idea is not a fact; it's an untested guess about a solution. So you have to create hypothesis every time. And rigorous testing is kind of a main thing. Like do not build until you experiment 100 times. For example, if you are going to have a product, or if you are going to have a kind of a new thing, first you have to test it rigorously and try to make it work. I'm not telling about only the development, but also the selling. So even if you develop something and try to sell it, and then test it if it is like worth, or like if you are going to like push in marketing campaign, try the marketing campaign first, and also evidence over ego. So this kind of a thing that you think that I'm getting more downloads, or you can say that okay, last month I got so much of product sales. Is it worth enough? Is it good enough? No, that's kind of false. Because the thing is, app downloads or like things that product sales are not kind of a best thing evaluate your success or evaluate your product. Because 100 users or thousands users may download an app, but do you know whether they are using it or not? So that's kind of a thing. And then that's why we have to say that measure actions from the user, measure things that beyond like that, and retention, usage, and how they react with the product, or how they react with the things. So that's why we need evidence, not the ego thing. And the iteration, the continuous discovery loop is like if your hypothesis or if your things are going to be wrong, change the assumption and do it again. So this kind of cycle. And so what I thought is kind of the next story of me. From those things, like I thought, like, do I need to do it again? Like, do it again means go with the IT industry or do some software, or like, do I need to think beyond that? So I thought, what are my strengths and best suits existing resource? And again, I thought best approaches to utilize my time, and then one leg in two boards, and then best utilization of capital that I have. So these are things that I thought. And then I started Panchataru Ayurveda Center. So this kind of a very not relevant to my field, because I'm an IT guy, I'm a computer scientist. But the thing is, like when I'm thinking, what are my strengths? I have tell you that my wife is Ayurvedic doctor in IIA, in there, Rajagiriya. So that's kind of my greatest strength that I have for the moment and best suits with existing resources. So this existing resource. Maybe she's my product, like kind of a thing. It's not kind of a good thing, but it's kind of thing. So then I realized, okay, why can't we use this kind of strength that we have? And then I talked with her, and we kind of have a discussion, and she didn't want to go with the government job in there, and we started a business. So we started a kind of a medical center, Ayurvedic medical center, in a kind of a different way. So that's why I say that we are creating value addition. Different way means like it's kind of not a normal Ayurvedic treatment center. It's kind of modern, like fancy, but it's like we actually target some kind of upper class customers, and like we treat everything different. So with that, we started this Ayurvedic center in Porda Sovita, India, in the near the 128 road. Like we did kind of a very good kickoff from that. Okay. And then after that, I built from there, and it's about entrepreneurial execution. And these are the things that I was doing in there, scaling with scientific rigor. So after that, I started that one. The cash flow is kind of a thing. We call it cash cow. So even when you started a company, you have to be very careful about your cash cow. That means like how you generate cash, how you generate money. So I actually monitored how we are going to do this, how we are getting money, and what are the things that we are providing, and how many customers that we are having for 3 years time. So actually, we started it 2022, and until 3 years, I actually monitored it. Not me, even like my wife also. And then ensure long-term financial sustainability before taking new bets. Like this kind of another thing. So the thing is like even because even if we started that Ayurvedic treatment center there, we are not getting hundreds of customers. We only get maybe 2, 3, or 4, maximum 10 per day. Okay. Still, as I said, that is kind of very low amount, like very basic amount for a normal hospital. But the thing is, like when we calculated the cash flow, and it's a good amount. We only consider about cash flow because the thing is like we provided a very good kind of a service in there, and then we got kind of a very good amount from also from the customers. So that's why we have to think about the baseline and the human engine. This kind of very complex thing about managing the human resources. So for 3 years, I have to tackle so many problems to manage human resources, because when we are creating that, when we are starting that thing, we had 4 people working in there, and sometimes I have to resolve conflicts. That's kind of very hard thing to resolve human conflicts, and maybe that person is not talking with me, so I'm not talking with that person. And for example, when that happens, think about the business flow. That's very hard to maintain. So that's why I said that maintaining human or HR is kind of very complex thing. But if you have problem solving skills, that's kind of definitely doable. And surgical financial management is kind of a thing. I had to have a kind of a very surgical or like very concerned, extreme discipline about finance. So I cut down and unwanted things in there. Like even some days, like sometimes we have to cut down salaries and things to survive months, because we have to be sustained. I will tell about the sustainability in there, and I have to prioritize operations over reckless spending. Like for an example, like we had kind of a flashlight for the board, and we have to remove it. Like after sometimes you don't need to do marketing so much, then you have to remove it and save some electricity. Also, there's a huge board I will start. there's a huge the billboard in there in that company in that there in the business center, and for that one, government asked us to pay a tax about 65,000 per year. That's kind of an unnoted thing. So we removed that also. Actually, it was got collapsed, and then we totally removed that because after some period, you don't need to do marketing so badly. So we cut down so much of cost. Okay, so then we got some kind of like good cash management in there. And then after that, I actually calculated the risk factors and risk what we are going to do. And so these are the things that we calculated before I scale to another one. Okay. And investor capital alignment is another thing, like identify exact investment model that fit to long term. So if you are going to expand a business, like you have to identify the exact investment strategies and also what is your long term thing. Okay. So that's another thing that I had to think. And delegation. This is kind of a key thing I have to say like delegation is a key thing because for example, if you are CEO, if you are developer, if you are founder or whatever, like if you do everything by yourself, you are very much failed. You have to delegate your task and keep your time to yourself, expand the business, not to do everything. So then this is the scaling that we done. Like I started Panchataru Private Limited 2025 last year as the second branch of the first branch. Like now we have two branches. The second branch is in Mount Lavinia, and this is like first staff that we had. This is my wife in there. So I was the doctor, and she's the MD in there, managing director, and she look after three doctors in there, and we have two assistants. So we are paying these people, and we are still having kind of profit. So still the thing is like second one. Second is like the second branch is not like break even, still like because it's like 1 year. And first one is like first branch is like okay, like we are profiting in there. So what I learned is kind of very good thing that you have to get the idea. Like leadership track is kind of thing like you are a scientist or you have to think as scientist and the boss and the leader. So these are three things that you have to be in your mind. Hope you are all in academic side. So you have this scientific skill and you have to gain this boss skill, like be a boss. Okay. And the leadership, I think you have this leadership skill. Because if you have this kind of three things, like you're good to go. Okay. And systemize and delegate, that I also every time I said that you have to have delegate the things and systemize things. For example, if you start a business and you have to automate everything, like I mean that build a simple SOP. SOP means like standard operational procedures. You have to define how the business is going to be done, or how the things are going to be working in there, and escape the technical term. That is why I said that you don't need to do everything technically. You can outsource it. Maybe smart outsourcing, like outsource things that you don't need to do, or like you don't know. And another thing, you like time is only non-renewable resource, so you have to think about time so seriously, because if you are the person, if you are the leadership role, you have to utilize your time as much as you can, because you only need to do the like thinking and expand things, not do everything but yourself. Financial discipline first. So I'm showing this graph like because this kind of a thing that I manage for now how many years? Maybe 10 years. Continuous I'm doing this. Keep kind of Excel sheet. Okay, so this is my Excel sheet. So this kind of half of that. And I keep everything in every month, each and every month. So I have my bills in there and food bills in there and like incomes in there and like outgoing things in there and each and every bank accounts in there. So I manage everything in Excel sheet. So keep this financial management, financial discipline. What I do is each and every month I got salaries, I got incomes, whatever things. I create this Excel sheet. This is a spreadsheet, kind of another spreadsheet. So I have a template for this. I create this one and I manage everything in there. And then I distribute everything to the accounts. And from that onwards, like sustain, that is a kind of fourth key point in the business. So once you build from that onwards, you have to keep the sustainability of your company. How I did is kind of a thing like, as I said, the financial discipline is kind of a key point to sustain your business, so sustain your startup. So, and also the risk agility. Continue restructure is kind of a thing, and post maintenance, strict reporting, and define your risk appetite. Do you know about risk appetite? So risk appetite is kind of a thing like how much you can bear your risk, like how much cost or how much things that you can do per year, maybe a month, whatever. And keep that thing, and you have to find your risk appetite by yourself by doing like maybe from trial and error, maybe from time, how you do things and things. And always build contingent backup strategies for what when market condition change. So, for example, even if you do everything, if you don't have a backup, you will be failed. For example, you might think, okay, I can have a new company, I can build new, I can rent a new business space, and then I go for that one, and you will spend your cash on there. But suddenly, something like COVID may be affected. So what you do? What is your continuous plan? What is your backup? So that's why I said that you have to have your two legs in two places. For example, I already business and I have my this career path. So it's kind of total different things, not affecting from others. Even if something is affected from another thing, I can survive with another one. So this kind of a continuous backup plan should be there. And systems alignments. So you have to have kind of internal system to track everything, maybe the finance, your business things, your income sources, and your whatever things. So for an example, we have a system like point of sale system. We are keeping everything in there, like all the drugs that we are getting, who are the sellers, and how much income we are getting. So even I can log into this system right now, so that I can take decisions. That's how I manage my business from Ireland. So because each and every day I can check how many sales that we are getting, how much drugs that we are going to be lose, like how many customers that we go to deal. That is an open source system that I had in me because I know IT skills. So then I placed that system into a server and like connected. So we have two branches, and all the branches separately, individually we can track, and I can track it from not out of the Sri Lanka. So that's kind of a good thing. So wherever you are in there, like you have to have a kind of a strategy like that. And the endurance mindset. So this kind of very important. Extreme patience. What I say, because I saw many people start companies, startups, but they don't have patience. That's kind of very bad thing and pitfall. Because sometimes startup may be success after 2 years. We don't know, and you have to be patient, and you have to have to cycle continuously, and you have to have very kind of a thorough mindset. And another thing is like once you start to build something, you will get so much blame. You will get so much of voices. You will get so much of what you call that galmul prahar. So this kind of normal thing, even in Sri Lanka, even in other countries, this kind of normal thing. And once you start another thing, and people thinks that okay, you will mar ho sakte ke them mara ke and they will do whatever things. Okay. And another thing is like from your own family, you will get so much of things because when you're doing some things, you are allocating times from your 24 hours. Okay, everyone has 24 hours, but when you're doing second one, you have to allocate some times from that 24 hours that you allocate before for your families. That's kind of very big challenge, and from families and from everyone, you will get so much of complaints, blame. Even when we started this second business, my wife was telling me, "This is not going to be worked. Let's close this up. We are not getting much revenue." This kind of very hard thing. But every time I had to be listen to her and be so much patient. I said, okay, it will be okay. Let's see another month. Like I have to continue. But after some point, after 6 months, after 7 months, then when we see that cash flow is growing, cash flow is coming, so then everything will be okay. Now what I do is like I actually do not like I just do strategic things only. Like I just give some advices and things. That's all, and everything is like automatically delivered. So that's how your business be going to be do. So these are like last slide that I'm going to show like unfiltered advices from me. Like I should say that resist the shiny object syndrome. Like I know that you like shiny objects. Like for an example, if there's a trend going on in Facebook, you are trying to do that one. Or if a trend somewhere like okay, this time AI is very good trend, and everyone is going to be jump into the AI and do some stuff in AI. Don't do that. So because the thing is like it will be fade away from the speed that is blue. And the expansion formula every time think to expand when the income is greater than the spend. Okay, so this kind of key rule. If you have a greater income than spend each and every month, for an example, ඔයා වේදන් කරනවා ඕගාල පර්සෙන් හන්දිය දෙනවා ඔක්කොම කරනවා so you can spend any time but you know that from next day onwards you will get more money. So that's the point that you can expand or you can invest things out. Until that you have to be very patient and calculate risk and continuation. So set the risk boundaries as I said and strategic leaves, and hope is not a strategy, and you have to keep the plan B to be alive in there. So calculate the risk and continuation, and every time play the long game. Don't go for shortcuts. That's kind of very bad thing. Long game is the only survival thing, only sustainable thing. Low and steady. Steadiness is the kind of winning thing. So keep patient, be patient, and play the long game. What I did, hold the door. You know this one, like hold the door. Do you know about Game of Thrones? Okay. So hold the door is kind of Fordo. Fordo is like holding the door in there. Like I don't know whether you put the Game of Thrones in there. So there's a kind of a person holding a door to prevent some zombies to come inside. So keep this strategy every time. Like think, build, sustain, and hold the door. Like holding everything as much as you can. And that's it. And as I said that last, if you have any question, you can ask me and hold the door and keep growing. I always point in my Facebook because I'm very active in there. You can scan this QR code and join with my Facebook account, and you can connect me in there also. And yeah, that's all. And I think you got something from this one. I know it's kind of very lengthy. No, okay. I finished this time. So yeah, that's it. And thank you very much. If you have any question, you can ask.